Hey everyone, welcome back to Astrology Beans. I am super excited about today's video because a friend of a fan was able to calculate a guesstimated birth time for Hamdan, which provides me with his full complete chart. I don't know if you remember in the first 4 videos, I was working with this. This was the chart that I was working with. And as you can see, it's not complete. The houses are missing. There's nothing in the middle. The signs are not lined up where they're supposed to be lined up. Like, it's just half the picture, which is why your birth time is so important, because you're able to line things up properly and just kind of get the full, complete picture. So kind of think of his chart right here as a pizza, and every house is a different slice. So houses represent areas of your life, and this is kind of where the action takes place. The first house, which is over here, is always to the left, and the following houses always go in a counterclockwise direction. Each house is associated with an element, quality, and a sign. So in the middle here we have 1 through 12, which shows the house. Then we have the planets right here, so kind of think of those as your toppings. And on the outside, we have your astrological signs. So the planets show kind of what's operating, and the signs indicate how the energy is expressed. The houses show where stuff is kind of going on, happening, and if a planet, so we'll just say for the moon, for an example, enters, so it's in his 12th house. So if a planet shows up in a certain house, that area of your life is going to be affected. So the moon is going to affect with what's going on in his 12th house. And we'll go over later in the video kind of what houses, what each house represents. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is his Scorpio Stellium. And I kind of briefly mentioned that he had one earlier in earlier videos, but now that we have his time of birth, his ascendant is also Scorpio, so we can add another Scorpio to the list of the many Scorpio signs that we have in his chart. So with a stellium, anytime you have a stellium, that's going to kind of strongly impact and influence more so than anything else in your chart. So your Scorpio, so the Scorpio is going to be more impactful than, say, his Capricorn here. He only has the one Capricorn. So when you have a Scorpio stellium, you're just more open-minded and understanding. You prefer to be very secretive and skeptical of others and the intentions that they carry. So it's kind of what I mentioned about his sun, moon, Mercury. It's just, the trust, the secretive, that type of stuff. And that's the stellium. So with his Scorpio rising, which is his ascendant sign, they are, and I'm not saying this because he is, I think of my friends that are Scorpio risings, and I can apply this to them as well. They are as sexy as they can be. They scream sex appeal without even trying. They can be sitting in a chair and they look sexy. Not even trying. They could be reading a book or just kind of looking out the window and they look sexy doing it. They just ooze sex appeal. They're just very dark, mysterious, and a little intimidating, but people are intrigued by them. They're extremely private. They're able to hide their feelings, so not many people can read them, but they can read you. They're extremely healthy. They have very intense eyes with strong eyebrows, and they're just very gorgeous. Sometimes they can be difficult to know and hard to deal with, hard to live with. They can just easily detach and shut people out of their life. They can be vindictive. If they ever want to seek revenge on anybody, look out. Like, you don't want to be on the revenge side of a Scorpio rising. So the first part of this video, I'm going to break this up into two different videos. The first one is going to discuss the planets in the houses, so these, and then the second video is going to talk about the signs in the houses, and those differ. So I want to first begin with talking about his sun in the first house. So his sun here in the first house. Like, these individuals, those of you that have sun in your first house, like, you literally shine bright like a diamond. Like, you have a strong sense of self-presence. You carry yourself with confidence and you leave like just positive impressions on everybody. Sometimes you can kind of get caught up with what others may think about you, and this can kind of turn into an obsessive thing. Like, you kind of present yourself how you want others to think about you because you want others to always think of you in a good way. But, you know, that's not for everybody. And then leadership roles are usually best for people that have sun in their first house. So moon in the 12th house. So up here is his moon in the 12th house. These individuals can feel detached. Like, they crave solitude and time alone. Like, they actually need time alone in order to sort out their feelings. It makes me think of how many siblings he has, and just growing up with, I could only imagine like parties and family gatherings and stuff like that, and how exhausting that must have been for him, and how he must have, like, as soon as those things were done, he must have needed to escape, and he must have needed to just like have that time of alone just to like process his feelings. Like, it could have been a great fun family event, but he still needed to be alone to process those feelings. And kind of when you're faced in situations where emotions can range from, you know, different expressions, moon in 12th houses may react differently than other people. There's kind of a feeling of being on the outside looking in and feeling somewhat as like kind of the underdog of your own life. They're just very sensitive, and they can channel this energy in different unique ways. They're either overly sensitive or detached entirely. Like, it's hard for you to find an area of balance and understanding. So next is his Mercury in the first. And these individuals are extremely talkative and inquisitive. They can really capture an audience. They will approach new situations and people with logical analysis versus emotional reactions. They may at times be easier communicators than listeners. So depending on the situation, they may excel more at being the communicator than versus being just the listener. So Venus in the first, we have these individuals. They are just highly, highly, highly attractive, like beautiful individuals. And they have like this aura, and like just their vibe is just like even gorgeous. Like, you want to know that individual just based on their like vibe and aura and just how they look. Like, you see them and you're like, I want to know them. I I don't know them, but I want to know them just by the energy that they're giving off. Many people are drawn to you. You're never really seen as aggressive or hostile, just very charming personality. They have a hard time in confrontations, and they mainly seek out balance. And the best career for them would be in the public, and that's because of their friendly personalities. So next we have Mars in his second, down here. And they may work slowly, but they never miss out on a detail with a task. So they're very detail oriented. They're diligent and dedicated to their job that they're doing. They're extremely thorough with whatever they set their mind to. They enjoy working hard, and they would make an excellent entrepreneur. So Jupiter in the first. We have a person who is free-spirited and charming. Travel broadens their horizons, so they're always on the go. They're really, really healthy individuals, and they rarely ever get sick with like a cold or a flu. They're just very kind, easygoing individuals. They can be overly generous to others, giving more of themselves than that they should, and that what others deserve. So he would give the shirt off his back. Like it could be below freezing, and he would be like, here, take my shirt. You know, that kind of example of Jupiter in the first. So Saturn in the 12th. Here. These individuals choose to isolate themselves in times of stress or pain. And instead of sharing their thoughts and feelings with others, they choose to go off and process alone. They love solitude, like it soothes them. It's kind of like a big hug. He enjoys kind of working behind the scenes. They kind of love opening up and sharing personal views with ones that they love. And when they are able to do that, when they're able to open up and share with their loved ones, they're able to process without having to escape, if that makes any sense. So then next we have Uranus in the first house. And the word that comes to mind for this is nonconformity. Like this person has their own style, and they're not interested in what anyone else is doing. Like they do their own thing, and they love it. They love expressing themselves as an individual, and this could be with how they dress, how they present themselves, and just how they live their life. Like they go against the social norms, and they always speak their mind and will stand up for others. So now we have Neptune right here in the second, and these individuals are really highly charitable, and these are your humanitarians. Like you are drawn to those, like those who have Neptune in the second, like they're drawn to organizations that will help others. Like again, I go back to the example of it could be below freezing, and he would give his shirt or his coat or whatever off his own back and sit there and freeze just to give to somebody else. Like he would give his last cent that he has. And then finally for this video, we have Pluto in the 12th. And these individuals, again, you're going to notice the trend with the 12th house. Like these people like to, they need their alone time. So Pluto in the 12th, like you need your time alone to process and assess what's going on below the surface for you. They're just highly sensitive. He has a lot of sympathy for others that are like down on their luck. So he, you know, I guess you could say charitable in that way, but like, say he was out for a jog and saw somebody that, I don't know, maybe was homeless or something, like he would really take that to heart and want to help that individual. He would be like, hey, how can I help you? Like, what's going on? Like, he would go out of his way more so than the average person to help that person. They spend most of their life helping others and assisting those that are unfortunate. So, like, big on charity, just wanting to help those that are less fortunate than he is. So that's all I have for this video of the planets in his houses. I will do the second video that will go over the signs in their houses. But before I end this video, again, I want to thank the ladies that were able to provide me with his birth time. I really, really appreciate it. And if you have any questions about this video or any of the other videos or his astrological chart, please ask me. If I have another video about his astrological chart that I'm going to do, I can always answer those questions. If you have any comments or whatever, please let me know, like the video, and hit subscribe to see the other videos that I have coming up. Thanks.